Today on Absolute Anthem, I'm bringing you folks some Anthem news. We now have a full 90-day look at Anthem's roadmap, which covers all of Act 1, Echoes of Reality. That already started in February with the game's launch, as well as the two events we've already seen, with one more coming called the Shaper Surge event, and moving all the way into May, where we'll see the launch of the Cataclysms. That's going to include new missions, another free play event, as well as new rewards. Before we go any further and take a deeper look at this roadmap, though, I'd like to remind you all that I am currently live on Twitch, hanging out, playing Anthem. We're going to be hunting the last Titan for the current There Be Giants World event, as well as wrapping up some of the side missions to get prepped for legendary contracts. So, let's take a look at February. As I said, we've already seen the Outlaw Outrage event. The There Be Giants event is happening right now, and we've got one more Shaper Surge event happening before the end of February. Moving into March, things get a little bit more exciting. We're going to be seeing the introduction of new cosmetics via the Elysian Stronghold caches, which are caches you'll be able to open at the end of Strongholds using keys that will drop in the world. So we're going to have a new way to simply go on out, play the game, and earn cosmetics. Big fan of that. Can't wait to see that system get implemented. We're going to be seeing new rewards, new items. Hopefully this means the introduction of some masterwork in legendary themed support gear. That would be great because we don't have any of that in the loot pool currently. We'll also be seeing the launch of Phase 1 of Legendary Missions, the return of There Be Giants and Outlaw Rage, but don't worry because they're also going to be launching 2 new free play events alongside of that. I'm okay with events returning like this if, number one, they do what they can to make those events more interesting when they return, like giving us giants that actually have different mechanics or different ways of dealing damage, different resistances even. The same can be said with the outlaws. I want to see different named outlaws that have different ways in which we can engage them as players and different ways in which they'll engage us as a threat. So that's all fine and dandy. Okay with returning stuff as long as there's new stuff alongside of it, but hopefully BioWare takes the chance to make those events better as time goes on. Moving into April, things get a little bit beefier. We're going to be seeing the introduction of the Mastery system, which is going to hopefully make progression at the end game for players a little bit more interesting. Curious to see what they're doing with that. New rewards once again, so new items possibly being added to the loot pool, and a bunch of new free play events. So Shaper Surge is going to return in April after we first see it in February, but we're also going to get up to 6 new free play events that we don't have full details on. So that's a lot of free play events. I'm not entirely sure how they plan on pacing these out. I mean, right now we had one that was a single day event, which I'm not a fan of, and now the There Be Giants, which is a whole weekend event, which I like a little bit more. So maybe it's going to be a combination of weekend events and weekly events that hopefully last more than one day. We'll have to see on that one. We'll also be seeing Phase 2 of Legendary Missions in April, as well as the new Stronghold called The Sunken, as well as a bunch of new social features, including the weekly Stronghold Challenge, leaderboards, as well as the introduction of guilds, which a lot of us are obviously very much looking forward to. As we push into May and what will be the end of Act 1, we've got another free play event that is currently locked. New missions. Not sure if these will be story focused, if we're just looking at contracts. We'll have to wait and see on that. As well as, once again, new rewards in the form of new items. So there you have it, guys. Just a brief rundown of what the next 90 days is going to look like for Anthem, keeping in mind that these things could be subject to change. And in general, I think the biggest changes for Anthem are going to come from quality of life improvements, optimization, and general changes to the things that revolve around the core gameplay loop. And I think that's where a lot of us are actually more excited. New content's great, but I think a lot of us want to see Anthem start to tap into some of that potential, make improvements to the UI, which is an absolute mess right now, and just in general make the experience more user-friendly. Because there's a lot of cool things in Anthem, like the challenge system, which is actually a part of the current world event that allows you to unlock a brand new graphic, but it's all buried under a UI that just has too much going on and that doesn't do enough to push the important things to the forefront of the user experience. So as much as I'm excited for content and features, I honestly remain to be more excited for refinements that allow us to enjoy Anthem a little bit more easily, with a little bit less work on our part and a little bit less frustration overall. Let me know what you guys think of the roadmap. If there are any things that you think Anthem needs to do right now, things that are the most important to you to improve the user experience, I really want to hear your criticism, your feedback down in the comment section below. Let's make that a bit of a, a feedback hang out, if you will. That doesn't mean scream about how much the game is shit, because that doesn't help anyone. It means legitimate, honest criticism. What don't you like about the current Anthem experience? What would you like to see BioWare focus on improving, outside of just saying they should add more content? Because I think there's a lot of other things they got to work on that will make new content that much more enjoyable to experience. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Once again, I am hanging out, streaming on Twitch right now. Come pop by, hang out. There are no major spoilers in my stream for the game's main story if you haven't completed it yet. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.